Brought to you by Penguin.
The Anxiety Cure by Klaus Bernhardt. Read by Simon Ludders. Preface. In the UK, more than 11 million people have been diagnosed with anxiety disorders. Almost 2 million of them suffer from constantly recurring panic attacks. More than anything else, they would love to live a normal life again as soon as possible. A life free from fear of fear. Many years ago, my experiences in the field led me to decide to do everything in my power to help people suffering from panic attacks faster and more comprehensively than previously possible. In our Berlin clinic, where we specialize in the treatment of anxiety disorders, my wife and I use a completely new methodology for treating anxiety, one derived from modern neuroscience. Our methods have little in common with the usual treatments anxiety patients have come to expect. At our clinic, there is no exposure therapy, no breathing exercises, no progressive muscle relaxation, and no digging around in childhood memories. With very few exceptions, we also strictly reject the use of antidepressants and tranquilizers. When we are asked just why our form of therapy is so radically different from that of most of our colleagues, I like to quote Albert Einstein. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Regrettably, this clever quote perfectly describes much of the manner in which anxiety patients are currently treated. The same therapies are turned to again and again, despite their painful slowness in producing results, if they even help at all. At the same time, it appears that groundbreaking developments in neuroscience are being ignored. Instead of taking these new findings on board to finally establish better therapeutic standards, antidepressants continue to be prescribed and methods are still being used that in many cases have barely evolved in decades. Yet in the last 20 years, our understanding of the brain and how it works has been transformed. Thanks to imaging technology, we can watch our grey cells think. We can test which thoughts and mental exercises produce which reactions. And thanks to the internet, experts can keep in contact and up-to-date worldwide. Thanks to these developments, we now have a very good understanding of what has to happen in the brain to make panic attacks possible, and we also know what can be done to stop anxiety in its tracks. All of the techniques described in this book have undergone years of testing and refinement in our clinic. You may find it hard to imagine, but we are now at a point where 70% of our patients need fewer than 6 sessions to be completely freed of their panic attacks. Of course, a book can't and should never replace an experienced doctor or therapist. But this book can still help you understand what really causes your panic attacks. You will also get to know a series of exciting and simple-to-learn techniques that have already helped many of our patients to live a life free from anxiety and panic. I sincerely hope that the following chapters will help you to achieve that life as quickly as possible. Yours, Klaus Bernhardt. Science and medical journalist, registered alternative psychotherapist, and member of the Academy for Neuroscientific Education Management. AFNB. Chapter 1. Panic attacks. What causes them? Anxiety in general, and that includes panic attacks, is, first of all, our body's perfectly healthy and appropriate reaction to danger. For fear has only one job: to protect us. For example, if a hungry lion were to leap out of the brush directly in front of you, your body would immediately start producing adrenaline. Your heart rate would go through the roof, and within milliseconds you would decide whether you are prepared to fight, ill-advised perhaps with a lion sizing up its dinner, or flee. This is a completely normal and necessary reaction which ensures our survival. But what happens when there is...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?